Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mr. News Inktober, day 17. Today's prompt is storm. And just like I kind of alluded to yesterday, yeah, I've made my mind up. I'm gonna continue this sort of landscape seascape off into the edge and have a storm coming in from the ocean. Let's get to it. And in case I forgot to say it before, it's wonderful to see your smiling faces. You know, as stressful as this week has been, I got to admit it's been good. This week I have gone back into classrooms, art on a cart in my elementary school. So I'm kind of doing a hybrid model at this point where I'm offering virtual art lessons for the kids who are learning from home, and I am also teaching art on a cart to the kids who are at school. And yes, that is difficult to do both. Yes, it takes way more time than any of the admin realize or understand. Yeah, the people in charge have no clue. But it's good. It's good. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is have clouds. I'll do, most of the sky is going to be black because it's night. I just realized every single landscape I've done in this entire Inktober has been a nighttime. Why did I? Because black ink. Because I wanted to, that's why. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to continue with that. So it's going to be the ocean. It's just, yeah, it's going to be pretty simple. This shouldn't take too long. Yeah, so going back to the discussion about the work, my job, my job, my work. Yeah, so I'm teaching virtually and teaching art on a cart. I do have a classroom at my school, but so that gives me a place to record for virtual lessons and things like that. But in the interest of not having the kids wandering around the halls, you know, walking, traversing from place to place, the kids stay in their room, and any teachers who teach more than one class, the teacher swaps places instead of the students. So like even for the 5th graders who, you know, they team teach, where like one teacher teaches math and another teacher teaches social studies, the teachers switch rooms instead of the kids. So, which, you know, that makes sense. Limiting their travel around the school limits the spread of, you know, the coronas, and really like flu and any other diseases too. So that's kind of the purpose for that. The only exception to that is the kids do still go to the gym for PE, where they have a huge space where they can spread out. Most days, any day when the weather allows, PE is outdoors. And they go outside for recess. When the weather allows, they go outside for recess. So they travel around the school for those things. And to get their lunch if they need a lunch from the lunchroom, but then they take that back to their classroom. Anyway, point is, because the kids are not moving around the room from around the school from classroom to classroom, even though I have a classroom, I am teaching art on a cart now to the kids who are in the school. But then we also have some kids who are not in the school building, some kids who are learning virtually. Our school is not currently on an AABB kind of schedule or an ABAB or whatever. There's lots of different schedules out there where people are hybrid, where they like learn from home a couple days a week and go into the school building a couple days a week. My school is not one of those. My school is one where the parents had the choice of either keeping their kids virtual or putting their kids in school. And so I think I know it used to be about 40%. It's not quite that, it's not that much anymore, but it's still a significant portion. I think it's like a third of our kids are virtual. So anyway, I think that model, at least in our situation, seems to be working better than the sort of AABB kind of schedules. In our situation, we have certain teachers who are the virtual teachers and certain teachers who are the in-person teachers. And if you've been watching my Inktober, you know that like a week ago I was really frustrated because I was expecting that I would be the virtual art teacher, and that the other art teachers from the district would come to my school to teach the kids that are in person, and I would do all the virtual. It didn't turn out that way. There are reasons why I think it would have been better to do it that way, and there are reasons why I advocated for it being done that way, and there are also reasons why they didn't do it that way. And I understand all the reasons, but it's been frustrating. It's been frustrating changing. This year it's just been change after change after change after change, and I mean, flexibility has always been my middle name as an art teacher because every year I've been at 2 or 3 or 4 different schools, and some of them on a cart, some of them not. Some of them I've had a classroom, some of them I've had a big classroom, some of them I've had a small classroom. Flexibility has been like the key word for my job for the last 13 years. This is my 13th year teaching, I think. Wow, it's been a while. Has it been that long? 12? I think I've finished 12 years. I think this is my 13th year. I can do the math, but anyway, it's been rough this year. As it has been for everyone, right? Like everyone across the globe, this year has been an interesting strain. But, things seem to be working out decently well. The schedule is not too terrible. I do have more, let's put it this way. I have more planning time than I used to have when I was art on a cart before at other schools, but it's still not adequate. It's still not enough time. I mean, if you know any elementary school teachers, you know that not a single one of us has ever in our entire careers been able to get all of our work done during work hours. Like there's not, I know there's some people who think, oh, the special areas, the art, the PE, the music, they have it so easy. They don't have to do all. Yeah, we have just as much work. It's different work. It's just it's just as much, but it's different. Anyway, if you know any elementary school teachers, you know that we never are done working. I mean, the amount of work we bring home, the amount of hours outside of work that we are in the building working, outside of work hours. That's just par for the course with this job. And I knew that coming into this job. I knew that. I knew that when I was in college learning how to become a teacher, getting my education degree. I knew that. But that doesn't make it easy. And just because I came into it knowing that doesn't make it easy to put up with or deal with. It does mean that I'm clearly willing to put in that extra time. But then you come to a year like 2020 and you start to have an even better understanding than ever of the importance of your you time, my me time. Like, my family time is also important too, but like my me time, my I need some time to unwind time. And speaking of unwinding, usually I'm in bed by like 8 or 9 so that I can get up early and come to work. Last night, YouTube showed me, YouTube recommended a video from a British TV show called Taskmaster. I can't even remember what the first one they showed me was. It was about pizza. If you're not familiar with the show, quit watching this and go do a YouTube search for Taskmaster. It's hilarious. It's a British TV show. There's a guy who gives tasks to, I guess, British celebrities. I didn't know who any of the people on the show were, but I guess they're British celebrities on the show. And they're really ridiculous tasks that these people have to complete, and then they get judged. There's like five people doing the tasks, and then they get judged based on their performance in the task. And so the one that YouTube recommended to me that got me hooked on the show, I watched like for 2 hours, 3 hours last. I was up until like 11:30 last night watching this show on YouTube. It was hilarious. Anyway, the first one that YouTube recommended to me was, the task was order a pizza without saying the word pizza. It was a little more complicated than that. It was order a vegetarian pizza with pepperonis and bacon, but no tomatoes and no cheese. And you weren't allowed to say any of those words. So you had to order an extra large. You weren't allowed to say the words extra or large. You had to order a pizza, but you weren't allowed to say the word pizza. You had to order a vegetarian pizza, but you weren't allowed to say the word vegetarian. You had to order with bacon and pepperonis, but you weren't allowed to say bacon or pepperoni. You weren't allowed to say tomato or cheese, even though you wanted to order it without tomatoes or cheese. And listening to these folks try to order a pizza without saying any of those words, it was humorous. So anyway, that video got me hooked, and I was watching that show for like 3 hours last night after the kids went to bed, and I was laughing all night long, and I really, really needed that unwind and laugh time. Yeah, that was necessary. Anyway, as I am working here on these clouds, I'm thinking about contrast. I really, really want like super dark black clouds, but I want to be able to see the outlines of the clouds. So I'm doing these auras where I've drawn the outlines of the clouds, and now I'm sort of wrapping around the outlines of the clouds so that it will become white outlines with a black cloud. And then, once I'm done with that, my plan is to use the white gel pen to make lightning coming out of those clouds. I don't want to overdo that though. My original thought was I'll make a boatload of lightning coming out of it. But then I was thinking, no, you know what? Maybe it's just like the beginning of a storm that is rolling in and not really super active yet. More ominous, I guess, because of that. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. One of the other tasks on that Taskmaster show, by the way, I guess I could leave a link in the description to the channel. One of the other tasks that's actually art related was the task was to paint a picture. They had like this canvas set up, an easel set up on the middle of a round carpet, a big red carpet. And then there was a canvas on that easel. And the task was to paint a picture of the Taskmaster without touching the red carpet. And so, I mean, the red carpet was like 8 feet in diameter, something like that. I mean, it was huge. So clearly they could not reach the canvas, but they had to paint a picture without touching the red carpet. So that was kind of funny. It was really interesting to see the different methods that different people came up with. I had 2 immediate thoughts when I heard the task, because of the wording of the task. I guess it said that only the brushes and paints were allowed to touch the carpet, which, immediately to me, that meant, well, you just use the brush to like flip the carpet up and push it out of the way and then walk up to the canvas. And there were 2 people who did that. But the other thought that I had was the wording on the task didn't say that your painting had to be on that canvas. So my thought was just leave the canvas alone and go paint on the wall or something, or paint on the carpet, right? Because it did say that the paints could touch the carpet. But anyway, no, that was a fascinating little show. Anyway, the real purpose of this whole discussion is just to talk about laughter and the importance of having some downtime, some me time, some alone time, some family time too. I was sharing some of those videos with my wife, so we were, enjoying some laughter together. That's important. And anyway, yeah, just the importance of having some downtime, especially during stressful times. And that leads me to thinking about my son, my 10-year-old son. Scott has an assignment for school where he has to write an essay, a persuasive essay. He has to, in other words, try to convince somebody of something. And when I got home from school the other day, my wife showed me his rough draft, which said his persuasive essay was about, it was written, directed towards mom and dad, and he was trying to convince us that we should give him video game breaks, or a video game break, during the school day when he's learning virtually at home. Give him a break to play video games. And he actually made some very persuasive arguments in there. He was talking about specific games, about how they encourage creativity and building, and things like that. And especially, considering who his parents are. We're both artists. We're both creative, crafty people. That's definitely a persuasive argument for us. And so anyway, it just got me thinking. It's like, not only is it creative, but also I personally, me, Mr. New, his daddy, I'm taking time out of my day each day. I mean, it's basically been my lunch break, or it's been before school starts each day, but, this Inktober thing, how necessary has this been for me? And I've been talking about that in all of these videos I'm making. I've been talking about how necessary it is for me to have this time. And for my own son, we've made the rule that he can't play video games on school days because, and the reason that we had to make that the rule was because he was not putting his best effort into his schoolwork, because he was just rushing and hurrying to try to get done quick so that he could go play video games. And it's like, wait. No, school is more important. You got to put first things first. But maybe this is a better option. Give him a 15-minute break in the middle of the day where he can play his video games. And maybe, that's a creative endeavor, because he's playing games like Minecraft and games of that nature, games that are creative by nature, where you're building things. And so it's, it does have that aspect to it. But also, just brain breaks. Chance for his brain to do something different. That is important. And to do something that he enjoys, that is also important. So, anyway, he doesn't know this yet, but he has already convinced his father. So yeah, we're going to be changing that rule for him and giving him some chances to have some free time, some choice time. So yeah. So this week hasn't been all bad. It has been very stressful. It's been good, but it has been very stressful. It has been a lot of work trying to do both teaching in person and do all the virtual, preparing virtual lessons and all that has been a lot of work. But I haven't been able to do all of it during the school day, of course, but I have been able to get done what needed to be done this week. without having to come in on Saturday. Now, I had a little bit of work to do at home, but I'm not having to go into school over the weekend. I'm not having to go into the building over the weekend. At least I don't think I do. I hope I don't. I don't think I do. Anyway, I'm using this pen is taking forever for this. I wanted to use the bigger pen, the bigger brush pen, but it would be not as detailed as I want for this. It's harder to get nice, clean, crisp lines with that. So here I am using this pen that's taking forever. I was hoping to be done with the sky by now, but just looking at the time. No, maybe I should just ramble on a little bit more about time and the importance of taking time for yourself, for your family, for your mental well-being. Or maybe I should just draw some lightning. Now, I thought, should I make like the iconic zigzag lightning, or should I try to make more lifelike, realistic lightning? Let me see. Got some crusty stuff on the tip of my gel pen. There we go. That should be working. I think I'm going to do more realistic lightning. Where, it forks and it's jagged and splits out. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. How much do I want to do? How much? I don't want to overdo it. That would be... I think I might have just overdone it. No, I don't want too terribly much. I want the basic idea that, hey, this is stormy weather, but I don't want it to be too... And then you gotta, it's gonna light up the clouds a little around it. So I'm just kind of trying to get that idea a little bit. I don't know, that might have just completely ruined everything. I don't know. It's not as bad as it could have been. I guess, should I include a couple? I should include a couple of stars. I don't want to do too many stars because the lightning is so bright, it's going to kind of overpower. But it is nighttime, so wherever there aren't clouds, maybe, yeah. Let's see, the lightning is also going to light up the... there's something crusty on my gel pen. It's okay, rub it on my jeans. Okay. Yeah, so the lightning is going to light up. It's doing it again. Usually this gel pen doesn't have that problem. Anyway, I was saying the lightning is going to light up the water around it. There goes somebody texting me. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it done. I think that's... Do I want to outline? No, I don't. I don't want to outline the lightning with black. I want to let it be what it is. I'm going to leave it. I'm done. Done with day 17. We're over halfway done with Inktober. I can't believe there's only 2 weeks left, only 14 days left. This is exciting. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Some days more than others. I like, but I kind of like that there's differences. Like the, you know, there's quite a few of these that are landscapey, but then there's also others that are not. Well, I guess that one is, but like, I don't know. Anyway, normally I kind of like to have a cohesive theme for the whole thing, but I kind of like how these landscapes are coming together, but then there's other things with it. I kind of like that there's a variety, shall we say. Anyway, tomorrow is the 18th. The prompt for tomorrow is trap. Can't wait to see you then.